Hi guys, so today I wanted to show you how I fill in my eyebrows. This is an updated routine video because I have figured out a new way to fill them in and have them look kind of natural while they are growing out. I am using a serum morning and night. I did a whole video about it. If you guys haven't seen it yet, I will link it above. So they're growing back and I have been trying to figure out like a way to really fill them in without you noticing all of the random hairs that I'm definitely not going to be touching because I'm trying to let my eyebrow hairs grow. So this is kind of like what I've been doing in this in-between phase while everything's growing out. And also another huge issue that I had when I was filling in my eyebrows is they would get so warm, and the reason why is because I figured it out. It's because my skin on my face is very red. My face has a lot of redness and redness underneath my eyebrows too. So when I put products there, it mixes with my skin and it makes it turn really weirdly warm and red. So I figured out a way to combat that. I have brows now that are more cool toned and they match better with the roots of my hair. So, and I do have a lot of blonde going on. So another issue is I would be filling them in too dark and they were like jet black. So yeah, this I really like. I'm totally into the way that I've been filling them in recently. So I wanted to share with you guys what I do and the products that I use. So if you find this video helpful, I would really appreciate it if you could leave a thumbs up down below. Yeah, that's about all I wanted to say for this intro. Let's go ahead and just get straight into the tutorial. So this is my eyebrows before I have done anything to them. And they actually have grown so much, which is amazing because you know, I like barely had the tail ends over here before I started using the serum. First thing I do is use the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter. It's just basically a clear brow gel like this. And I go through once with the flat end of the brush head here. And then I flip it over and use the other side and just swipe both sides through the brows first just to get the majority of the product that's on here off onto my eyebrows, and then I start slowly flicking my eyebrow hairs upwards, only in this kind of inner to mid part of my brow, and then on this outer edge I'll flick them out. This one's a little stuck from my serum, but yeah, I'll flick them out like that and then brush them downwards. So I dipped it back in, got some more product. Again, use the flat side and just run that all the way through the brow, flip it over, run it all the way through the brow. And then I just slowly start working those hairs up. I honestly can't even believe I have this many hairs now. It's actually insane. Going back through here on the tail end, flicking that up as well, just kind of really separating out each individual hair, which looks crazy. And then you just want to tame that back down like that, because I don't like the ends to be sticking straight up, you know, but I do like the separation here. So this is almost already dry now. So what I'm going to do is go back through this part and just really kind of straighten it out with whatever is left on the brush. Just like that. So now my hairs are now sticking up. They're all individually separated, but they're not like too weirdly spiky. And this here is the perfect base for me to do my eyebrows. I just kind of let it dry in place, fix any hairs that I need to. I cannot fill in my eyebrows if I don't do this first step because it doesn't lay my brow hairs where I need them to go, and then I have no idea where to put the product. And then I end up with really weird looking eyebrows that take a million years to try and carve out and make look symmetrical. It's like, it's just impossible. So this step is absolutely crucial for me. If I don't do this first, then I definitely can't fill them in. Next thing I do is use this. I'm sorry, it's a little dirty because I legitimately use this every single day. It's from Laura Mercier and it is called the Sketch and Intensify Pomade and Powdered Brow Duo in Brunette. And the shade you guys can see is like, looks black. So this is a pomade here, and then this is the powder that you set over top. So this is the pomade and then the powder over here. The brush I use to fill in my eyebrows is this guy here. It is so good. It's just a straight, flat brush. It's from Alamar Cosmetics. Now that the eyebrows are dry, I just go in with a heavy amount of this. Oh, and by the way, I always clean this brush before I use it. And if you guys want to check out my video on how I like to clean my brushes really fast, to the point where I can like use them straight away, I will link that above, up here, or up here, I can't remember which way, but yeah, that is what I did, or I do that every single time before I start using this brush, because otherwise there's too much product on your brush and you're going to end up making your eyebrows look way too dark. So what I first do is I start by just filling in where I can see that there's sparse areas. And I do a mixture of patting like this, but also kind of swiping. And what's nice about the fact that we set the brows first is that the hairs aren't gonna move around. So I can see exactly where this needs to go, and I can just kind of pat it in, and it fills the brows in for me so perfectly. And it gives it like a really natural look too. I am following my natural brow hairs too, which I know, if you guys don't have brow hairs, I know the struggle, because I didn't have many either a few months ago, and it was very hard for me to just like see the shape that it's supposed to be in. But because I have brow hairs now, I can see, you know, where the arch is, just like right there. It's nice because then I don't ever overdraw my eyebrows. The only part that I add like a little bit more to is just this tail end here. I make it a little bit longer, and then I also make the arch come up a little bit higher here, because I don't really have an arch with my brow hairs. At least it hasn't grown in yet. But that's kind of like the general shape that I do. Do some patting motions in this inner corner here. Oops, that was a little too much. Okay, so there we go. Next, I use a yellow loose finishing powder. This is from Maybelline. It's the Fit Me in Fair Light. You guys can see how yellow this is. And the reason I use this is because it cancels out the redness in the pomade, and then also, you know, from my skin underneath. So that's what it looks like. This is a Laura Mercier brush, just like a shadow packer brush. And I pick up a decent amount of this, and I just start pressing it, or more like patting it, into what I just drew on. And I do it all over the entire brow. So essentially, I'm like setting the brows in place, and I notice that when I do this, it literally makes my eyebrows waterproof, and they do not come off. So this is gonna be my routine all summer long. So I pat it on every single part of the brow until I feel like I can't really see any more warmth. And this will just really like cool it down. Okay, so then I start flicking very gently the excess powder off of the brow. You guys can see like how cool toned it is now. It's like crazy. And again, it's nice because I can just mess with this as much as I want to, and the brow hairs will never move, because that Benefit stuff is like glue. So we're gonna leave this brow alone for now. I'll definitely go back to it. I wanted to do this eyebrow so I can show you guys how funny it is, the comparison between both, you know, how warm this one gets. And I know that can happen with a lot of products. Like, you think it's gonna be taupe, you think it's gonna be cool toned, and then you go put it on your face, and for some reason it always gets warm. I've had that issue with so many different pomades and different brow pencils, and so that's why I wanted to show you guys this trick here, because it really does cool it down and make it so that there's no more warmth in the eyebrow. So same exact thing. I'm just picking up the pomade from that palette and I'm going into my eyebrow very lightly, short strokes. So my eyebrows are definitely different, which everyone's is, but mine, like this one grows lower and this one grows higher. So I have to keep that in mind when I'm filling it in to make sure that this part down here is getting attention and I'm not just leaving it blank. Again, I'm gonna pat in this inner corner here. This brow gives me a little bit more issues just because I'm trying to get it symmetrical, you know? I always end up drawing it too high because it grows in too high. That looks about right. So I think that's good enough for now. Look at the difference. It is insane. And so this is how I used to do my brows. I only just figured this out like 2 weeks ago, which is why I'm filming this for you guys, because it's just insane, the difference. So going back into that powder now and pressing that onto the brow hairs. And what's nice about using the pomade first is because it gives it like a stickiness for the powder to really grab onto. And I feel like that's what really is making my eyebrows so sweat proof and waterproof. I know I got a little bit on my lashes. Yeah, so wherever you see any warmth, just pat this on right over top. Don't be afraid to use too much. And then you just brush it off very lightly. And you guys see that? Like the brow hairs are just, they're not moving. So there we go. Both eyebrows done. Then I go back through with whatever is left on this brush and I just swipe upwards just to recoat the brow hairs. So that way there's not any like powder on them, you know? The very last step is to go in with this powder here. And I pick it up with the same exact brush, just on the very, very tip. And this is where I go in and fill in the tail ends of the brows. But of course, you know, like if you're going for a more natural look, then you can just stop here. But I like to fill it in a little bit more on this outer edge. I just feel like there's just like a lot of bald spots, you know? But I gotta be careful because sometimes I fill it in too much. That looks good. And then again, same thing, if it starts getting a little bit too warm toned, where you applied that, you just pat right over top of it, and then just go over again, wipe this away with the same brush as before. And then I'm just going to go in one more time with this Benefit 24-hour brow setter and just hit any hairs that happen to like poke through all of this. You just want to make sure everything's laying nice and flat. And then this kind of like brings the brow hairs back to life, you know, after we put so much product on them. It's kind of like a reminder, like, oh hey, you're still there. Alright, and that is it. I didn't, you know, carve them out or anything with concealer. I just try and fill them in as best as I can right off the bat, so that way I don't have to do that. I feel like it looks more natural this way. But yeah, that's it, guys. That is my new technique. So that is how I fill in my eyebrows, and it's been working really well for me. If you guys end up trying this out, let me know how it goes down below. Like I said, that product is, I think, only available on the Laura Mercier website, but you know, there's other really great pomade powder duos out there, like Benefit, I think, has one. Oh no, e.l.f. powder and pomade duo. I will link it down below for you guys. That one works really well too, and it's a great drugstore dupe for that. So yeah. That's my routine. Let me know what products you guys like to use and what your routine is down in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And that is gonna be it. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.